Have you ever thought of a city as a living organism? You see, no city would exist without people. Cities are born with us. They grow and develop, and they are shaped according to our needs and lifestyle choices. A city can be a beautiful place, but as a living organism, a city can also be led to decay when we neglect it or abandon it. It's not a surprise when we hear that people have a suppressing feeling during their experience on a daily basis in modern cities. The bombardment of advertising, the demanding pace of life can create this feeling to people. And this is where my story comes in. When I was 13 years old, I was blown away by the possibilities of mural art. Simply by watching a group of amazingly talented people transform this old wall of a factory in my neighborhood into something so impressive. This gave me the motivation and inspiration to try and become one of them. It's not my artwork, but this is the time and place that started it all, my journey to mural art. Of course, I did not start creating large-scale murals the first day after the event. My first connection to painting on walls was graffiti, my passion for graffiti. Graffiti is basically coming up with a name for yourself, a nickname, an artist's name, or a tag, as it's called. This tag is like a signature that you write in a complex way so that you show to other graffiti artists that you're present in the city. The artworks are often understood only by the very few within the graffiti circles. Retrospectively, I can understand and see how the first formative years of me doing graffiti as a teenager gave me the foundations for what I needed next in my career as a mural artist. I started using tools like big brushes, rollers, and spray cans that I wouldn't have used otherwise. I trained myself on paper, sketching countless hours, and then trained myself to take this sketch from a piece of paper onto a big wall, scale it up onto a big wall. It also made me aware of my surroundings in the public space, as I was not only looking for new graffiti artworks by other people, but I was also looking for new and interesting places to create my own artworks. That is unique to graffiti writers, a perspective that is unique to graffiti writers. All this was a bridging process in many aspects. Within myself, as I was trying to figure out how I want to paint, what I want to draw. With the art world, as I was exploring and studying, as I was studying other artists and art movements like surrealism, and I was amazed and impressed by artists that would create worlds of their own imagination and would invite me to escape. It also built connections with other people, collaborations, in order to transform big surfaces. Like the first time we actually painted a whole facade of a building with 3 friends. Or the first time that with my crewmates, we traveled to Padova, Italy in 2007 in order to be some of the many artists, around 40 artists that transformed a whole building, not just a wall. There I experienced firsthand what it means to collaborate, to travel, to actually build bridges that transcend language, race, and generations in order to transform neighborhoods, cities, and the experience that someone can have in the public space. For the past 15 years, I have been creating murals in the public space, and as you can imagine, I couldn't have been happier that I did become more or less just like those artists that inspired my 13-year-old self. But creating large-scale murals is not an easy task, as it differs vastly from creating in the studio. In the studio, an artist can be secluded, in their own zone, have the music they like, the lighting they like, and just focus and paint over and over again on a canvas until they decide that an artwork is ready or not, ever. But in the public space, there's something much bigger. An artist is actually creating large, big artworks for people to enjoy on a daily basis. In a neighborhood, whether they live there permanently or they're visitors or tourists. And in my opinion, the responsibility is much higher, as something is permanent and cannot change. But it's also a great experience, not only because of the challenges, like the physical work that is very demanding, like going up and down a scaffolding for a few days, but also the connection you can have with people, their feedback, the constant feedback when they see you work and they can witness the work in progress unfold before their own eyes. I will never forget the comments and the interaction with parents and children when they would see this particular work being realized over the course of a week, and the amazement in the children's eyes when the artwork was finished. For the past 3 years, I've been permanently based in Sofia, Bulgaria, where I have collaborated with NGOs, cultural associations, and local authorities, together with other artists, in order to transform old electrical substations. The feedback from people is constantly positive, and I'm really, really happy that I can join other artists and breathe new life onto these old, abandoned, not old, neglected concrete walls. But for me, the most positive aspect of public art lies in the definition itself. Public art is public. It's out there. It's directly available to everyone, to all of us. It's not confined to the four walls of a collector's living room, or a museum, or a gallery. There are no fees to pay, no ticket. There are no bank holidays or other restrictions. It's just out there for all of us to enjoy. And it can have many forms, from sculptures, memorials, performances, festivals. And in my opinion, one of the forms of public art that have the biggest impact visually is mural art, or the creation of large-scale paintings, if you will. Just like this one, photographed by a drone from above a basketball court, or even means of transportation. You see, public art gives the right to people to reclaim their own space, their surroundings, and to have a say into what they will experience day by day, and not to just be passive receivers and to be bombarded instead of enjoying an artwork. Of course, painting on walls and on surfaces for other people to see is nothing new. We do have evidence from drawings on walls of caves from around 30,000 years ago. It seems that humans had and still have an innate desire to document their story, to express themselves on surfaces for other people to see, or the generations to come. And of course, since public space is out there, it's up for grabs. And it's not a surprise that corporations, for example, would use public space in order to reach out to the masses and promote products. Or political parties might also use the public space in order to sway the public towards one direction or another, even if that is art, like propaganda art. Nowadays, we do have the technology to create large-scale artworks in just a couple of days. Literally paint a multi-story building in just a weekend. But technology can also give us new dimensions when it comes to mural art and the way we experience the public space. For example, projection or projection mapping, which can actually bring an existing mural to life with a combination of projection and animation. Or simply projecting artworks temporarily for an event. People can physically be there and enjoy the projection, or the projection of the event or the video can be viewed online millions of times from the comfort of your living room. And something that is really fascinating, in my opinion, is augmented reality. Augmented reality is a form of technology that provides a multi-layered experience to the viewer. When they point their device towards an existing mural, an existing artwork, 3D animators, programmers, and artists collaborate in order to bring physical artworks to life. How many times, and raise your hand if you've bumped into a tree while looking on your phone. I have. I'm not ashamed of that. But there are so many other things that you can do in public space. So many other things that can make you actually enjoy your experience in the public space. And even if it's not something very organized, myself, including many other artists out there, with our own initiatives, we do try to improve the public space and neighborhoods and give something back to our community. And I think this has also shown me how this is a much, much bigger picture. What do I bring in my community? How do I create a bridge with my community instead of just trying to create my own things somewhere where no one will see just for my own enjoyment? I still do that, but I believe that there's something much, much bigger here. So what's the point, really? To just try and paint every single building in our city just so that we can have more colors or it can look more beautiful? Banksy, the famous street artist, imagined a world where you cannot lean against a wall because of the wet paint. I don't really agree with that. I don't believe that every single building should be painted. But I'm pretty sure that some of you are already thinking of a wall that would look great with a mural on. My hope is that artists will keep creating works out there for the public to enjoy and build bridges that will, like I said, transcend language, race, and time, and inspire the generations to come to actually care about the public space and their surroundings. My hope is that at least one person hearing this talk will be inspired to create a mural artwork or to be involved in the creation of one. There are many ways that someone can help. You can volunteer to literally help an artist paint their artwork on a wall. You can volunteer and help in many other ways, like providing accommodation or cover expenses. Or if you're an artist, you can submit your proposal to an open call and travel around the world, connect with other artists and people, and transform cities. My hope is that at least one person will feel the impact and the power of mural art, just like I did 20 years ago at that festival. Thank you.